When you're approaching a truck, excuse me, you're looking at the overall posture of your truck. Okay? You're making sure it's not leaning left or right. Alright? So I just start at the top every time and work my way down so I'm not skipping anything. So I'm going to start at the top. My clearance lights up there. They're all securely mounted. Nuts and bolts. They're amber in color. They're halfway clean. Okay, they're functional. Okay, I'm checking my mirrors. They're not. I'm looking for the supports on my mirrors. They all look securely mounted. I'll approach those and get a better look at them up closer. But I'm looking for any damage. Okay, so you can see trucks are parked on each side of our rig. Okay, when they leave, might be a new driver or whatever, take your mirrors out. Okay, so we're just checking to make sure they're all there and they're not damaged, right? So now I'm going to check underneath since I'm back here, I can look right underneath my truck and look for any puddles of oil, coolant. I'm also looking for any belts that might be hanging down, any hoses or electrical. Okay, now I'm going to approach the truck. Okay? Get this forward the truck. So this is my headlight. Got high beam, low beam, both functional. I have a turn indicator, four-way flasher, and the running light here. I do have an amber, and that's amber color. I do have an amber reflector here. Okay, all good shape, clean, no damage. Okay, now I'm going to. Okay, again, as I come around, I might check my mounting on my mirrors, all in good shape. Come around to my engine compartment. Okay. I start at the top and I try to work my way down. Okay. So this is my coolant reservoir. It's properly mounted to the radiator with nuts and bolts. Okay. It's above the add mark. If I had to add coolant, I'd put it through this cap, which is tight, secure, not leaking. I'm checking all the hoses coming into it. They're not bubbled, cracked, leaking, and the hose clamps are secure around the hose. Okay? I come right over. This is my filler tube. It's bolted to the motor, so I'm going to check, make sure it's not leaking. No damage. If I had to add oil, I'd put it through here. The cap is tight and secure. My next thing is my dipstick. It also has a tube in it connected to my motor. It's not bent, cracked, broken, and it's not leaking. I pulled my dipstick out this morning, wiped it off, put it back in, pulled it back out, and I made sure it's above the add mark. Okay? Come across, come over to my air lines. Okay, they're securely mounted with zip ties. They're not bubbled, cracked, not leaking. I'm checking my fittings, all my brass fittings. I don't hear any audible leaks. There's no damage. All in good shape. My electrical, okay, it's all on conduit, zip ties. I don't see any bare wires, closed wires, no corrosion, and all the fittings are tight on that. Check my clutch cable on the red truck. I'm looking at the cable, make sure it's not damaged, bent, and no exposed cable in that. Okay. If you happen to have, like this truck, DMV, this is like reservoir for my hydraulic clutch. It's above the add mark and it's not leaking. And if I had to add fluid, I put it through this cap here. Come right down to my steering column. Securely mounted both top and bottom with universal joints that are well greased. My steering column itself is not bent, damaged. I have no more than 10% free play in that. I come down to my gearbox. Securely mounted with 3 nuts and bolts that are tight, both to my frame of my tractor. Okay, and I don't see any leaks in my gearbox. This is my power steering line. Notice a little power steering fluid on my bottom clamp. I put that on my BIR. Okay, but there's no bubbles, it's not leaking, and the hose clamps are tight and secure. This is my power steering reservoir. Securely mounted with nuts and bolts, not leaking. The above the add mark. If I had to add power steering fluid, I put it through this cap, which is tight and secure, and it's not leaking. Okay? Come down to my 5 steering components. This is my pitman arm. I have my drag link. I have my upper steering arm, my lower steering arm, and my tie rod. They're all connected with well-greased ball joints, castle nuts, and carter pins. There's no damage. Okay? Move right into my suspension. These are my leaf springs. I have a front mount with nuts and bolts and a rubber bushing. I have a rear mount with a shackle, and again it's bolted properly with nuts and bolts and a rubber grommet in there. Okay? I come up to my anchor plate. We don't have to say anchor plate anymore, but my anchor plate is securely mounted to the frame, holding my leaf springs down with 2 U-bolts, 4 nuts that are tight and present. Making sure there's no shifting or shiny mark between the anchor plate and my leaf spring. Okay? That it would indicate looseness. And again, my leaf springs can't have more than 1/4 of a leaf cracked, broken, or missing. Alright? My shock absorber, properly mounted to my axle and my frame with nuts and bolts. I'm looking at the structure of that. Doesn't look collapsed. It's not leaking any fluid. It looks like it's in good shape. Move right over here to my brake line. I have a fitting here, another brass fitting. I'm looking to make sure there's no audible leaks here. I'm checking the line itself for any cracks, bubbles, not leaking. This is my ABS line. It's electrical. It's connected properly. I don't see any bare wires, no exposed wires, and no corrosion. Okay, that leads me right into my brake drum. There it is. Hear that? Ding, ding. Okay, I'm looking at my brake drum. It's not cracked, broken, no damage to that. Inside my brake drum, I have brake shoes, and I got to make sure my lining on my brake shoes are more than 1/4 inch. Okay, I don't see any debris on my brake drum or my brake lining. No oil, no grease, all in good shape. Okay, come up to my tire. My tire is worn evenly, good shape. My tread is at least 4/32 of an inch on my front tires, and all my other tires have to have at least 2/32 of an inch of depth. I checked that this morning with the tire tread depth gauge. Okay, I've checked the inside and the outside walls of my tire. I'm looking for the ABCs. No abrasions, no bubbles, no cuts. Okay, that leads me right down to my tire bead. I'm looking at that. So we're checking this because if we run over curbs and stuff, we're going to damage our rim. Okay, so that's what we're looking for. Okay, it's not bent, cracked, broken. It's not leaking any air. Okay, I go to my rim. This one happens to be aluminum rim. Okay, no damage to that. My valve stem down here is metal. It has a cap on it. It's not rubbing against my rim. And this is where I checked my tire inflation this morning with the tire pressure gauge. It has to be at least 100 psi or manufacturer specs. These are my lug bolts and nuts. They're all present. They're all tight. And I'd be looking for, with this aluminum wheel, I'd look for black streaks around these, which would indicate looseness. Okay? Steel wheel, I'd be looking for rust. Okay, either one, there could be shiny marks around here indicating looseness. Okay? The marker light, it's amber in color. Everything from the rear of my trailer has a lens on it. It has to be amber in color. Security mounted with nuts and bolts. Has 3 functions: running light, turn indicator, and flashlight. Okay, I'm still getting physical with the mirrors. All the supports are properly bolted. All the bolts and nuts are present. It's tight. In good shape. This is my battery box. I checked it this morning, took the cap or the cover off. I'm looking for exposed wires, no corrosion, no exposed wires, bare wires. All the connections were fine. This is my depth tank. This is currently mounted to the frame of the tractor. The cap is tight, secure, not leaking. And it's well fitted. Okay, come around here to the back. Okay. I'm going to start off my fuel tank. Not a gas tank, it's a fuel tank. Securely mounted with static straps. They're all in good shape. Then tight, secure. I have the cap on here. It's tight, secure, not leaking, and it's well vented. Come right up here to my electrical and my two airlines coming out. Start with my airlines. I have fittings here. They're not no audible leaks. All in good shape. No line or no bubbles, no cracks, not leaking. My electrical's plugged into the socket. The cap has a locking device on there in the lock position. Okay, I spin around, check my electrical, my airlines. My electrical free from bare wires, no corrosion, and it's plugged into the trailer the same fashion with the socket. The cap has a lock on it. My airlines free from bubbles. They're not dragging across my catwalk. Fittings over here. No audible leaks. These are my glad hands. Making sure that they're connected properly. Rubber grommets in the middle. Look to be good shape. I don't hear any audible leaks. Okay. This is my tractor frame. Not bent, cracked, broken, or illegal welds on that. My cross member, again, is bolted to the frame. All the bolts are present, tight, and secure. Okay. Come back to the connection, my fifth wheel connection. I have an apron underneath here, securely mounted to my trailer. It can have welds, most of them are welded. Okay. So it's properly mounted. I'm checking my fifth wheel. I don't see any gap in between this apron and the skid plate. That means it's connected around my kingpin, securely around the shank of my kingpin. Protect my sliding fifth wheel. Okay? All the mounting bolts are present, tight, secure. I have two locking pins.
Locking pins?
That are in the lock position. Good shape. I have my release handle, which is in the lock position. Some of them have a safety latch. Be checking for that. Okay. Stand back up. Checking the overall view of my trailer. I'm looking down the frame of my trailer, which is this part right here. Looking down, make sure it's not bent, cracked, broken. All the rivets and screws and bolts are present. No damage. I'm checking my DOT approved tape. It has to be 50% on both sides and 100% on the back. There is some damage here. Maybe on the back, I'll put all my damage on my DIR. Okay. Now, I would crawl underneath here. I'd look up in my fifth wheel, make sure my locking jaws are securely around my shank and my kingpin. Okay. Looks like it's well greased. While I'm there, I'm checking the tractor frame with the landing gear. I have enough space in between here for any hard left or right turns I might encounter on the road. Okay, I turn around and look at my landing gear, looking at all the supports. All the welds are good. If there's nuts and bolts, they're all tight, secure, and present. This is my crank handle. That's what I use to raise and lower my feet of my landing gear. Okay? And it's stowed away in the lock position. I have enough clearance between my feet and the ground. It's fully raised. I don't see any problem. Okay? And while you're walking out here, I'm just checking the overall view of my trailer, looking for any obvious damage I might have missed up there. So, just so you guys know, up until last year or so, we had to talk about each tire on each axle. all the brake components. Brake chambers, the slack adjusters, the push rods, brake components, okay? The tires, we had talked about the tires. And the hub. So this hub, just so you know, a little extra, this is the same kind of hub we have on the very front axle. This is called a splash hub, okay? So we put oil in this, 90 weight oil. It splashes around, okay? So the front axle and this axle are the same. The middle axle is our differential axles. They're sealed. We put grease in those rear ends, okay? Just so you know. So some of these, let's see if that one behind you has it. Yeah, see that red cap on that one? Mm-hmm. We would pull that cap off. If we didn't have it, that one has the sight glass on it. We could see the level of oil in there. Mm-hmm. But if we had something like this, we'd pull that cap off, stick our finger in there, and if we got oil in our finger, we'd have enough oil in that. But if we have a leak in there and you don't know it, you go down the road, those bearings get hot. I've had those catch on fire. So hot in there, okay? So that's what we're checking for there in real life, not for DMV. Okay, this is my ABS light back here, amber in color. Okay, it's always on my left side. So when I turn the key on up there, when we check the ABS light on our dash, we can see if this comes on and goes off also. Okay, this is just a marker light, has one function. Running. Okay. Take the overall view of the back of the trailer, looking for any obvious damage. Again, we don't have to say this, but I'm checking it. Make sure my latch is locked. No damage. Hello. Okay. Okay, back here again, check my DOT approved tape. I have a little bit of damage. Again, I put that on my VIR. This has to be 100% on the back. Check my license plate. All nuts and bolts secured. I told this, I put that on VIR. I have a tail light or license plate light, usually white or clear, functional, good shape. That's it.
The stoplight?
Oh, thanks. I do have tail lights. 4 of them. Okay? These have 4 functions. Running light, brake light, left and right turn indicator, and 4-way flasher. Clean, in good shape. Before we had talked about the pinion. All this crap, we don't have to talk about this. Now, another thing for you guys just to know. So this is what we call pup trailers. So this is half a set of doubles. Okay, so what's in front of that other trailer over here, that big orange thing, that's our dolly, our connection between hooking 2 trailers up. This is where we hook the dolly has 4 airlines. Okay, so we hook that up into this pintle hook, lower this down, lock it in, and the front airlines would hook up to our glad hands here. Okay, and they also have valves. So if we hook up the trailer, we have to open that valve, let the air come through the dolly and go back to the rear trailer. Okay, just so you know. Okay?
Sir.